webinar. Today, more or less 1 month after Lab Expo trade show, we are proposing to get an overview about what we showed during the trade show. So the title of the webinar is Refreshing Your Packaging Workflow. More or less the idea is in fact to see how we can manage your packaging campaign with ES. So if you have any question, of course, during the webinar, you can use the chat or send any information to the DALIM product team. Of course, each webinar is recorded and so available then on the website of DALIM. So, my name is Frederic Sainui. I'm taking care position of the pre-sales and solution manager. The webinar will be divided in two main parts. The first part is to propose you some ideas, some trends around packaging and campaign and today. Then I will move to a demo, and then after come back to my keynote to view some what we covered, and some ideas for the future. So today's brown packaging challenges. So it's a very exciting subject. So the idea is how to go faster and more efficiently. So in fact, first of all, you need to control your packaging production. So, and ES is there to be able to manage the different technical steps in your workflow. Packaging means also colors, so it means that you need to be able to manage your colors, your spot colors. Automation, of course, and yes, it's definitely workflow driven, so that's the idea to be able to fit exactly your business workflow mapping of your company. And of course, during a project, and something which is more and more important today is the ability to communicate between the people, the agencies, the customer, and also to share. So, and that's one of the new feature of ES, really the ability to use ES as a DAM to share. And so within DAM now, you can easily manage your assets, and of course at the end, you are saving your time and you are able to deliver at the right time. So today, it's definitely more and more devices, more and more data. So the world has changed at this point. We need to be able to manage pictures, videos, PDF, and ES is now the hub of your information. So we have different channels, and these channels have to be able to handle documents, images, audio, video, so a wide range of assets, and of course PDF. And in the meantime, you have to distribute all these assets in different contents: smartphone, tablets, web, print, social, e-commerce, and packaging. And so at the end, as you can see, ES has to be at the hub of your organization to be able to organize these assets and to be able also to drive the right content to the right channel. So the idea is, of course, to manage campaigns with more data. So, and as for example, that's an example we are working, and I will show in the demo is this pack. And this pack is a lot of things, a lot of technical things. It covers a lot of people from the draft, from the design, from the technical step, the die cuts, and it involves in fact a lot of people around. So coming from the packaging manager, designer, CMDD, product managers, quality engineers, a lot of people. So, and the purpose, in fact, at the end is to be able to share between all these people and to get the approval of all of these people. So at the hub, so we need to be able to manage these packs with a lot of information between all the people, and in fact, most of the time today, a lot of people are sending emails, a lot of information, and sometimes they can miss some information. So you have a lot and more emails. So our purpose, of course, is to use ES. So that's a short view of the demo scenario. So we have two main people. In fact, on the one side, we have a brand with Emma. And so Emma is the customer. And then on the other side, we have the agency with John. And so we have to manage our packaging campaign. We have to collect some assets, pictures, and we have also to distribute all this information in different channels, from the print to the web. So, and now I'm coming back to my browser. So as you can see, with ES, we have the ability to customize your portal. So I keep here the example we did for Label Export. So as we can see here, you can change the background, you can change the colors, and a lot of things. So I will start now the demo with my user, which is marketing. We see John. This user has a profile, and the profile is there to drive the user with the right tools and permissions into the system. So as soon as I log into the system, I've got two main parts. On the left side, I've got my structure of information, and on the main workspace, I've got the ability to display the information. So that's my customer, and I have to create a new job. So as you can see here, I will start with creating a new job, which is very simple. Just some fields to some information to add. So of course, on my side, I will add here the name of my project. Okay. I can enter some information as description fields, or as, for example, that's project to manage my DALIM battle. I can see the people involved in the approval cycle, and there I just have an area where I can drag and drop files, or just click there and to pick up one file, which is just really the beginning of my project, thanks to the spreadsheet. Of course, I can start also coming from information from my email system or any database. And so now I just have to save. So what's going on now? So as we can see, my project has been started, and the first thing we can see is that I started with a very simple layout of information, and then I moved to more information related to my projects, to my information linked to the projects. So if I just take a look to my documents, you can see that I've got multiple subfolders. And in fact, each of these subfolders is in fact a workflow. Indeed, I can check that, for example, for the 3D, on the setup, I can check that, okay, I've got these two people involved in that workflow. For the production, I've got the same. For the native files, just one user, which is John, and so on. And of course, at the end, you need to get an overview of your business workflow, which is at the right side, project information. So it means that as soon as we approve each channel, will be each step there, each milestones will be highlighted as ready. And of course, the first thing is starting with a spreadsheet. So for each document, I've got a workflow, single workflow, and for each of these documents, I can view who is involved in that project. So it's blue, it means that John has to approve the files. Of course, even if it's a spreadsheet, it's always interesting to get an overview of your file. So what you can do, you can get a short overview, but you can also use dialog to get a view of your spreadsheet. And within ES, you can open any kind of asset, and especially Office documents. Okay. So what you can do now, I will do is to approve that document. So it's done for John. In the same time, you can see that in fact EMA received an email, and this email is related to the creation of a project with the spreadsheet. So what does it mean? It means that if EMA is click on the link, directly she is going to a spreadsheet. Okay. So now coming back to my project. So the next thing I have to do is to upload some information. And so the first thing, I need to get some pictures. And for that, in fact, I will switch to my server, which is there. So it's Linux based. And what I will do is, in fact, and that's since ES4, we have a new entry input into the system, which is the file system. So it is a file system monitoring. So instead of uploading files, you just have to set up which folder of your production system you want to monitor. Okay? And so as for example, for the shoot there, I can do that. I've got a folder which is buttered, but I've got no images. So what I will do is I will drag and drop some files. So my files are there. Okay. Something I have to show also is that on the settings there, as you can see for that folder, I've got a layout of information. Okay. So now what will happen? So I just have to, so we can view all the structure of informations there, the short folder, the button, and the only thing I have to do is, in fact, to drag and drop all my pictures in my production system folder. Okay? So I've got all that files, 24, which are these pictures coming from a shooting system, which is here HSL, coming from the company iPhone. And so now what's going on is the monitoring of the system is starting. And so as you can see, just waiting for the process of my files. Oops. ES is monitoring the file system. And I will get a preview of my different images. So which is interesting there is that I can customize the UI of ES ready to get a look to my pictures. And so as you can see, it's very simple. So we can see that previews are coming. So just waiting for. So of course, if I double click on the picture, I've got a view of dialog. So as you can see, it's very fast, very smooth. Something I have to show also, if you remember, I set up some metadata into my folder. And as you can see, for all my pictures, they inherit this information from the folder. And if I download that picture, I can check that in Photoshop on the metadata information, on the raw data one, I can find again my information. So it means that this information coming from my folder, coming from my MI system, are saved into the pictures, which is nice. So more or less, it's all my pictures now looks like ready. And if I'd like to get an overview, what we did is we tried really to enhance the user experience. And for that, in fact, we have the ability here. Oops. So just coming back to my viewer. Okay, so I can use a nice film strip there. And with that film strip, I can really, and it's very fast, so I can check which images I'd like to get. And so as you can see, we have all my images there. So I'm just searching for the right peak I need. So perhaps I need this one. So I can select this picture, and I'd like also to get this one, or yes, perhaps I'd like to get the label on the front side. Yes, this. Okay, and I'd like to get this one. Of course, I can also compare two different pictures in the meantime. Okay, and so as you can see, I'm able to use all my workspace to edit, filter my assets. So now coming back to my viewer of my DAM, I've got some filters at the top there where I can easily filter my selection. Okay, and from that selection, what I'd like to do, of course, it's JPEG coming from my camera. I'd like to order and to get some TIFF because I will use TIFF in my packaging. So what I'm doing there is just very a user action in the system, and just in a couple of seconds I will get these two assets available in a private collection. So now if I'm coming back to my private collection there, I can view that I've got an old one in fact there. I've got so my two TIFF pictures. So the only thing now I have to do is just to involve that pics into my project. I just have to drag and drop the two pictures there into the media folder. So I just missed the selection, so start again. Okay, it's good. And so now, as we can see, we just move this picture into a project. And so, of course, my files are reprocessed again. And these files are using a new workflow, which is this one, involving these people. So as we can see, I've got my job. So I can approve that files. So it will be okay for job. Just before, sometimes it's also useful to get, and especially for Emma, because she likes to get some contact sheet, so I can also produce a contact sheet based on my selection. So it will be something like that. Okay. And just the same, in a couple of seconds, I will get my contact sheet ready in my private collections section. So it's ready there. My contact sheet is there. So it's a PDF, of course. So waiting just for a process. And then I can share. So as you can see, I've got my contact sheet ready that I can share with Emma. So now coming back to my projects, now I need to upload a PDF. Okay, so first revision of my PDF. So I just have to search for the first revision of my PDF, which is there. So select the file. So as you can see, I can enter some information to bring this information to a job ticket, like this. And especially now, I'd like also to check, that's a technical step of my of my project, to check the to pre-flight my PDF. So as we can see there, we have another workflow. So as I said at the beginning, each folder has its own workflow. So the first milestone is just there to say, okay, I received this information, I agree, I can start. And so what I can see that I've got my two users as approver involved in the approval cycle. Now we can see that it's red. So what does it mean? So just waiting for the preflight of my file. So it's coming back now. Of course, in the same time, I received some other, not yet, but it's about to some other email notification. Okay, so and now I can check the preflight report, and I can view that I've got some errors and warnings, links to that profile. Okay. I need also to check that, so I have to open the file into dialog. And here what I can see is that I've got some missing information. So that's a view of a dialog with annotation tool, measurements tool. So it's very useful for the packaging. You have also all the rotations, so I can really move my file, zoom in. It's really very fast. So it's really the fastest viewer of the market. So at the top right, we have some other information links to some layers. So as you can see, I can check some layers. So I just have to hide them. So I can really or change the text there, twist instead of yes. Okay, I've got all my channels there also available. So just in one click, I can check that I've got my gold ready. Also, I can zoom in. As you can see, it's really processed on the fly. Okay, so I can now come back to view all the viewer. I've got some measurements tool, which is very useful especially in packaging, because you have some time to check some measurements at the top. Okay, but on my side, just there, what I need is just to, so I've got some different tool for annotation. So I just want to say that here, I'd like to here and here. What I need to add so the logo of the company. So as soon as I add a note, I've got a note on the right side, and when my mouse is over one annotation, this information is displayed on my file. So what I need also is to add a QR code there, and here a barcode. Okay. So it's okay. I can also use some proofing marks to ask to the operator, can you check here, as for example, the color of my Illustrator file. Okay. So and of course at this stage I have to reject the file, and I'm waiting for new revisions with all the corrections I need, and also to check the preflight. What I have to do is just to use my file system. And in the file system, as you can see, I've got a folder with my pack. Okay? And so this pack is in fact the InDesign document that has been packaged by Chili. Today we have now connection with Chili Publisher, which is one of the artist outline editor in the markets. And so what I will do is something very nice. I will just drag and drop the files into my native files there folder. Okay. And so what's happened there? So my file is processed. Okay. With another workflow. Okay. So just waiting for ES is making the connection to Chili, and Chili is sending back the preview. And what's happened now, if I double click on the file, as you can see, I am in Chile. So with this workspace, with the view preferences, I set up into the Chile. And so for that file, what I'd like to do is I'd like to add my logo there. So the QR code and the barcode are still have been added just before. And now into the pack, I just want to, I will drag and drop my logo at the top, and now I can save. Of course, I can change the text, I can change, and really with a very easy user interface, I can edit my InDesign document. It's just a game. And so, of course, I can save my file. So, and as soon as my file has been saved, I can do that. I need to approve that file. So what I will do is just, okay, we approve that file. And so now what's going on? In fact, my ES is converting, thanks to Chile, the Chile and InDesign document into a PDF. And just before, when I double-click, I was in Chile. Now, as I approve the file because I just added the right information, that's a PDF. So the job is done. So now I can upload the second revision of my files there, which is this one. Selecting my profile, and of course I get a second revision here at the top. Okay. In the meantime, I can also check that on my job tickets. I've got, remember when I uploaded some files, I added some information as the description of my project and my ACP number. I can find this information again, and this is a custom layout and information, and you can also make a connection with the XML file or any MI system. So coming back to my production there, so of course I'm agree, the file is ready, so design approval, step by step, thanks to a view of my milestones on the right side, I can follow all the different deadlines and so on. So the file is sent back to the pre-flight and coming back into ES, and now I can check that most of the issues and warnings. So of course, in the meantime, we get some email notifications with all the files that we uploaded, from the images, the spreadsheets, which is something also important is, so we have here revision reports with all the annotations we just added, and of course one more important is the pre-flight report, which is there. Okay, so what we saw in ES, of course, we can get this report in the email. So that's a good revision with the right profile, so it's okay. So now I can say, okay, I can approve that file. So what I can see now is that it will be the job, the next step is coming. John has approved the file, and it's up to Emma. The last thing I need to add in my project is the 3D. That's another item I'd like to show you. So what I have to do is just coming by to my production folder. On the 3D side, it's not there. Okay. 3D. Oops. So what I can view there is that I've got my 3D file, which is ES is supporting Collada files, which is based on WebGL. And Collada is today something you can get as an output from many other 3D softwares, just Cinema 4D, 3ds Max, even Photoshop, IT3D, a couple of software. So how does it look like? So you can view that files in your desktop. As for example, I can view it on my Mac there. Okay, so now I have to pick up my 3D files, and so I will use my file system, which is there, and so my 3D is there. So I can take a look. As you can see, you have the D error, and so what I can do, if I double click there, I can view my 3D, and so as you can see there, I need to add the logo. So I will ask for add logo of my company, and which is amazing. Now if you rotate here your pack, the annotation is rotating also. Okay, but as you can see, I need the logo, and in the previous folder of my project, we saw that we add some corrections, uploading a new revision, and so now after uploading my second revision of my file, so I can check and view that, okay, I've got the right one now. Okay, so that's a really nice view of my files and really gives me an idea of how it looks like then after on a share. And the last thing is I can also compare, as I did for PDF, I can compare both revisions of my file. So as you can see here, slide by slide, or even better, I can compare them using the overlay. Just amazing. So you can really slide and view the differences. Okay, and so of course that file has to be part of my project. So just drag it up there, and the file will be here. Will get its own workflow. So on my side, okay, I approve that file. So more or less the job is done from John, and now I have to move back to Emma. And so for that, I just have to log out of ES, and using the credentials of Emma, logging into the system, and now I will directly move to what we call the to-do list, and I can find again the name of my project, and with all the assets I have to approve. So I just want to, I don't need this column, okay? So as you can see from that view, a very simple view, it's just your to-do list you have to do just now. So I've got a spreadsheet, I've got my images, my PDF. So of course, if I double click there, I get the view of dialog, okay? And especially now, as you can see, I've got my two revisions, so I can really compare if corrections have been made, and it's okay. So on the fly, I can view that now the logo is there. I can also compare. You can also see that my file has been trapped, so I can view the trapping there. Okay. You can compare also slide by slide. I just hide their annotation, so when you zoom in on one side, it zoom in on the other side. Okay. I can come back also to the view of the last revision. And so as you can see, if I'm zooming in the system, I can really get some details, and especially of a trapping there. Okay, so it's cool now, and I can approve that file. So from the smart view, I was able to, and as you can see, PDF is not anymore there. And if I'm doing exactly the same for all of the other files, all the assets are approved, and I've got nothing. Emma has nothing more to do. Of course, I've got a more general view of a smart view, which is another smart view where I can get an overview of all the different sub-projects of my project I did. Of course, I can export a CSV for my accounting team. And so if I'm coming back to the project, so you can see that am I just watching one project, we can view that on the right side, all the different milestones have been approved. I can just check. As you can see, there's one more thing to do is the job of John. And in fact, on the production here, he has also to approve a file to end the project. Okay, and now it's okay. All these will be highlighted. My job is done. So something also interesting now is because I need some time to archive that asset. So something I can do, and especially for example for pictures, so you have some layout of information, links to that pictures based on IPTC, XMPeer. So you have a lot of information there. I can say that as, for example, that pics are for my campaign 2015 and apply some information there. Or I can also add some keywords. So as, for example, I can add some water bottle. Okay? And it's ready. And now what I can do, because sometimes, that's what we said at the beginning, we need to share something at the end to collaborate with some suppliers. And especially for that, what I did is I've got another user. And if this user is logging into this system, as you can see, the UI has definitely changed. So I just have a view of my file system and just access to the folder I need for that user. So it can get a view of the links with a different smart view. And if I click there, I've got on my PDF, okay, it can do some search. So yes, for that, if you're searching for pictures for my campaign 2015 in the file system, so I got access to all my assets. And from that view, what I can do also is I can easily, you can view also the InDesign documents that we are also able to view and process. The view of dialog is very simple with just the layers. So more useful for a PDF, for my PDF, as for example there. Okay, but the views, it's a very simple viewer, high definition viewer, very nice. Okay, and of course I can share, because sometimes I need also to share this document to somebody else. So I can set up some date there, and as we just have access to this URL. And so if I click on this URL, what's going on? I'm able to deliver my file. Okay. The other thing is also, which is important, is sometimes you need also to customize some portal for your customer, and that's a short example I did with based on WordPress. So you can very simple responsive UI. So if I click there on the links, you can view all the different assets I approved during my project. And if I click, as for example, on my logo there, I'm able to download that file. Okay. Something more smart is the dialog. So if I click there, I've got my dialog HTML5 into my CMS. Okay. So that was the last step of my demonstration. So now I can come back to my keynote. So what we covered, we saw that we are able to manage a very complex project with different channels, and each subfolder is seen as a project, a sub-project with its own workflow. Of course, the dialog HTML5. So today we are not so far very close to our dialog Java. We're still working on to find a solution to get the closed loop, but mainly you have all the right features very close to the Java version, and as you can see, it's definitely very fast. The user experience, and yes, is today is also done to be able to really easy share and manage your assets with your organization. The 3D, so today you can play with the 3D based on the color data, you can manage, you can add some annotation, compare revisions. Chili, so today Chili is embarking to ES, and from ES you can use ES as a portal of Chili to be able to edit your Chili files, your InDesign documents, changing the text, adding some features. Very smart integration and very easy to use. Of course, speaking about project means about speaking about smart views, and that's we have now you can really follow step by step the different milestones of your projects. The ability to use the API to customize some brand portal, which is definitely the purpose of most of your customers. So it's about integration. Yes, is really at the heart of your organization to be able to integrate different sources of informations. Automation, at least, and I like this view because it's really the scope of DALIM from the print to the web up to the mobile. Collaboration is definitely something very a step for all organization. What kind of assets you have, you need to be able to collaborate between your users, your teammates, and so on. So if you have any questions, I'm able to answer. For your information, we get some upcoming webinars and more up to the end of the year, of this year, and starting early next year. And really, I will so advise you to follow us, of course, on the social, but also on our website. And you have also some dedicated landing page. As for example, for the packaging industry, you have a SOFTPROOF landing page, or if you want to get more information about the DAM solution, it's also available there. Okay, so just one more thing, because of course we are able to manage packaging, and I've got some a nice thing to show is, so I use my iPhone and an application which is the Augment app. So that's my iPhone, okay, that's good. And so now what I have to do is I will just switch to the Augment application, and you can also do exactly the same on your side. You just need the PDF for our last magazine, or even better, the magazine, and I will just scan our magazine at the top using the app. And now, as you can see, something which is nice, I can because that's good. It's very interesting, in fact, because of course we did some before sending the packaging to a printer. You can play with your pack and share. So it's a very cool thing like this. You can also add some models to us. For example, I'd like to add some one example of a bottle we had before. So as you can see, I've got the two things in the sometimes back and the bottle, and I can take a picture. It's okay. And so thank you for joining this webinar, and see you next one. Bye bye.